Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about few more medical terminology related prefixes that we use in order to denote the information related to the body part. Okay, so in previous session also like we have discussed various prefixes which we use in order to denote the body part related information, right? And also we have discussed various prefixes that is used to denote the information related to shape, size, color, and different type of categories were there, right? So this session is in the continuation of the same, and we are in the part 37. Okay, so just for those like who are directly referring this session without following the sequence of the sessions. Let me repeat the definition for the prefix. So what is prefix? Prefix is a medical terminology word, or you can say it is a word that is present at the beginning of the medical terminology, and from there it produces some meaning. It denotes some information. Then that thing we will denote as a prefix of medical terminology. Okay, so prefix is clear. Now, how we are going to proceed with this session? First of all, I'll tell you about the meaning of the prefix that we are going to learn today. There are total three prefix that we will cover today. So one by one, I'll firstly explain you the meaning, and post that I'll also tell you. I'll also show you some of the examples related to the same. Because without example, we are not we can't consider that we know the meaning of prefix, because uh, our main task is to identify the meaning of the medical terminology. So for better practice, I always recommend to walk through couple of examples for a specific prefix that you are learning. So it will like make you ready to it will make us ready for uh, identifying the medical terminology, whether you are preparing for your exam or interview. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first prefix is ot or ot. Auto, OT or OTO. This prefix is mainly used to denote the information related to ear. So whenever there is a discussion related to ear, or whenever you want to showcase something as ear, then in that case we will use the prefix OT or OTO, auto. For example, the first example is showing otitis. Now what is otitis? Otitis means inflammation of the ear. Now, if you have covered the previous session, then you should know about one thing, that whenever we are talking about itis, although it is not a prefix, we are talking about suffix right now, but it denotes, it always showcase, like it is always used whenever we are discussing about inflammation. So ot is, or what is used for the ear, and itis is used for inflammation. So that's how the definition is coming, inflammation of the ear. So this is the purpose why we are learning the prefixes with example, because once you are comfortable with the example, then it would be very easy for you to identify the meaning of the uh, any medical terminology. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the second example, which is otoscopy. What is otoscopy? Otoscopy means examination of the ear using a otoscope. Examination of the ear using an otoscope. Okay, so again we are talking about ear, that's why we are using the prefix auto. Likewise, if you look at the second example, which is otitis media. Otitis media means inflammation of the middle ear. Now here you can compare both the example, the first example and third example. First is only otitis, which is inflammation of the ear, and third one is the otitis media, which is the inflammation of the middle ear. Similarly, if you look at the fourth example, which is otoplasty. Now what is otoplasty? Surgical reshaping of the ear, often for cosmetic purposes. So if due to some cosmetic purposes, if we surgically reshape any of the surgically reshape the ear for some cosmetic reasons, then that procedure is known as otoplasty. Okay, now if you look at all the example again, you will find only one common thing in between them, which is ear. Everywhere we are talking about the uh, ear. Somewhere we are talking about the inflammation of the ear, then we are talking about the examination of the ear using otoscope, then we are talking about the inflammation of the middle ear, and then we are talking about the surgical reshaping of the ear, often for cosmetic purposes. And that's the reason we are using the prefix ot or auto in all of these examples. Clear? Now now we will proceed with the second prefix, which is like here I have noted down couple of alternative name for the same thing, which is over, ovary, ovario, ovi, and ovo. So these are all alternative prefix for ovary. So whenever you want to denote information related to ovary in any of the medical document, then in that case you can utilize these prefix, or you can say that the terminology where these prefixes are present is denoting the information related to ovary. For example, first one is ovarian. Now what is ovarian? It is something related to the ovary, and in this situation when you want to showcase something like this, then you can utilize the prefix or terminology ovarian. So ovarian is a complete terminology which is composed with the prefix ovary. Then we have ovariectomy. What is ovariectomy? Surgical removal of one or both ovaries. Maybe for some medical purposes, if one or both ovaries are removed surgically, then that thing we will denote with the help of ovariectomy terminology. So ovariectomy is a complete medical terminology which is started with the prefix ovary. Then we have ovariopexy. What is ovariopexy? Surgical fixation of the displaced ovary. So for maybe for some medical concerns, if there is a fixation procedure is performed for the displaced ovary, then this thing we will denote with the help of ovariopexy. If you As we have discussed many examples so far, so that's why we can easily identify with the pexy word that although pexy is not a prefix, it has a suffix, but still we have some idea that whenever we are talking about the fixation of something, then we are using the pexy as a suffix. Likewise, if you look at the fourth example, which is ovarioplasty, which means pertaining to plastic surgery of the ovary. Okay, so in all of these examples, only one thing is common, which is ovary, and that's the reason we are using these alternative prefixes, which is ovari, ovario, ovi, ovo. Got it? Now we will move to the third prefix and the last prefix for this session, which is phalange. Phalange. What is phalange? Phalange prefix is mainly used to denote the information related to phalanx. Now what is phalanx? Phalanx means bone in the finger or toe. Whether it is a finger bone or a toe bone, we will term it as a phalanx. So let's look at the examples for it. First one is phalangoectomy. Phalangoectomy, which means surgical removal of the phalanx or surgical removal of the bone in finger or toe. So this thing we will denote with the terminology phalangoectomy, and phalange is the prefix. Then we have phalangitis. Now you know itis meaning. Itis means inflammation. So inflammation of the phalanx is denoted with the help of phalangitis. Likewise, in third example, we are talking about phalangoplasty. Phalangoplasty means surgical repair or reconstruction of the phalanx. So because of any medical condition, if we are repairing or reconstructing the phalanx, which is the finger or toe bone, then in that case we will denote this thing with the help of the terminology phalangoplasty, where phalango is a prefix and plasty is a procedure. So phalangoplasty is a complete medical terminology. Likewise, if you look at the fourth and last example for this prefix, then it is phalangopathy. What is phalangopathy? Any disease or disorder affecting the phalanges. Then this situation or this condition or this disease we will denote with the help of phalangopathy. Got it? So one thing which is common in all of these examples is phalanx, or you can say finger or toe bone, because everywhere we are talking about fingers or toe bone, right, which is phalanx, right? So that's why we are using the prefix phalange. So yeah, these are the all prefix which I would like to share with you all in this session. I hope it is clear to all of you. And for today, there is one question for you guys, like what information is provided by the prefix ossi and osteo? if you know the answer of this question, then please share your understanding and share your knowledge in the comment section so that others can take a reference from it. But if you don't know the answer, then please refer the last session, because there we have already discussed the these two prefixes in detail. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching TechSharmit.